right, guys, good morning. Can you hear me back there? Am I coming through there for you? Fantastic. Well, how's everybody doing this morning? Doing good? Doing all right? Late nights, early mornings? Yeah, okay, good. No, we're gonna get us there and back. But I go by host instead of tour guide because I want everybody here to be comfortable, get to know one another, friends and family, that kind of thing. Everything falls on top. They can keep operations running inside, right? You guys, you're going to be down there. I'm going to be up here, so I'm not worried about that. I'm more concerned with the fact that you're going to be down there trapped with the government tour guide. Oh yeah, I don't know what to do to you down there, so good luck. That's what I'm saying. You guys need to keep your backs together, head on a swivel, work as a team. This way we can get out and make our way to lunch. Had a good time. Sound like a plan with that? Yes. All right. So if I could, real quick, have everybody give a little look around, get familiar, say hi.
Hi.
This is important, guys, because today this is your damn family.
I borrowed her charger already.
There you go. There you go. Don't expect getting it back now. No, exactly. Well, I mean, some of us did treat this like family, didn't look at anybody. So there's that going on. But yeah, we're gonna have ourselves a fun little day. Hopefully, with a bit of luck, we're making good time. We get out there, we kind of beat the rush. We'll see how it unfolds as we make our way. But just a little bit about myself. Like I said, my name's Trez. My last name's Mala, M-A-L-A. I'm a stand-up comedian. I've lived here in Las Vegas for 32 years this year. And so if you guys have a question about anything, it's going about $5 a pop. That's it right there. But
Same on the test. 5 answers, correct answers are $5.
well, if you get your test right, you get lunch.
Oh, I get
so
two of them, get all the answers right.
No, it's just going for the one meal. We just got one shot at it, right? Yeah, I've been here for 32 years, and I've also been doing stand-up comedy for 15 years. That's been the big, bold career decision. And I'm still kind of at odds calling stand-up comedy a career when I still get paid in chicken wings. Hey, I've negotiated all flats, so, you know, I'm doing pretty good if you ask me. But this summer, this is my now, August is now my 10th anniversary of doing the damn tours. So you can see how well the comedy career's been going. All right, you didn't need to laugh like that. I'm just saying.
Well, I don't think that you've lost too many from those chicken wings.
Oh yeah, no, I'm living good. That's what I'm saying. I'm glad you're concerned about my weight over here. You doing blood tests too? Because I need a panel done. I need to get my A1C going on over here. Get that lowered down. But important part of our day, our professional driver and coach operator. Guys, they had a Brendo, everybody. Now, today's a special day with Brendo and us here at Comedy on Deck, and he didn't want me to say anything as important as this. But today's Brendo's first day driving with us.
Oh, and no accidents yet. All right.
But I should clarify this. First day driving with us sober. The professional driver, the title professional is court ordered. Or the community service paperwork, right? How I know all this is because I'm a notary. Right, I was there in that whole deal. But no, all jokes aside, our company, Comedy on Deck Tours, teamed up with Brendo's company, L&M Tours, with the idea of giving the best tours possible and the safest tours possible by having a step-on guide and having a driver. And that's number one priority, safety first and foremost, okay? And here's how you can tell Brendo's all about our safety. When you exit the bus, take a look on down. He's got his ankle bracelet on. He knows we're at, they know how fast we're going. And I'm just saying this because I just got mine recently off, so 4th of July, I'm like, screw it, I'm going to be free. Took it off, put it around the dog, been fine, all set, so. But before we get on the road, make our way down. We're going to have a brief little pause for the cause and do one of the more touristy things you can do here in Las Vegas, other than lose your life savings on the craps tables. But we're going to get an opportunity for the Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas sign over here. Now, see all these people waiting? That is 100% voluntary. I don't know what it is about our species, but we love just getting in line and standing in line for no reason. Just look at a Vegas bar. You go to, there'll be 28 seats wide open. One person's getting a drink. The second person walks right up behind them, stands there, waits to place the order. It's like, dude, there's seats everywhere. What are you doing? You're like, I don't know, just get in line. You know, no. Right. First off, that's not a good picture, okay? Not waiting in line, all right? One, when you don't have to, but two, after you wait in line, you give your camera to a third party to get your picture, and then everybody loves to go run up to that little mound right there and put their arms up and get a picture. And when you get your picture, you're like, oh, that's cool. But it's not the best picture because you look like you went through a shrink ink machine. You're like this big, okay? Now, I got a few thousand of these under my belt, okay? It's something that I learned out here by watching professional photographers is they don't put anybody up by that sign unless they're up close getting like an upshot or doing something weird, okay? The best place for a picture is on either side of that line where the gravel meets the turf, right? Where the sidewalk ends, where those people are standing there, where that line starts. That's where you want to be.
Buh. Take picture to me. Well, let's go on that side. Look, come on. Come on here. Kuya. Here. Oh yeah, wait for me! Wait for me! Las Vegas!
coming and one's going, but it's a 737, so it's not a small, like, little private jet. And it's all white with a single red stripe running down the middle. There's no letters, no numbers, but they're called Janets. Is anybody familiar with this or heard this? So it's an acronym. Stands for just another non-existing transport. That's the, yeah. That's what they got going. But where we are, doesn't look like anybody's coming in. But the runway is just over behind us. So a lot of times when we're here, planes are coming in, flying right overhead. Pretty cool to watch. Do you guys remember in 2019 they stop us all? And I'm like, yeah, they can. Yeah. And they pretty much did, because only like 600 people showed up, you know. And that was a missed opportunity, because there wasn't a case of water between them. You know, you could view the official particulars. We get up over here onto the highway. I want to let you guys know I have cooler water down below, right? Stay hydrated. Take advantage of the water situation, you know. If you're in these casinos, you get stranded and you want a bottle of water. I've seen them go as much as $9 for one of these bad boys at Caesar's Palace, okay? You can go to Walgreens or CVS, get 3 cases of water for $9. So how they're legally allowed to charge for a regular bottle of water that much is beyond me. But just want to let you guys know we got you guys covered for $5. That friends and family deal going on there, so take advantage. Because the further we get out, the more the price goes up. Justify that $9. No, the water's free. Okay, help yourself. It's very important that you stay hydrated. We're one of the driest climates in the world. We're here at the Mojave Desert. Okay. If you haven't felt, have you felt the dry air since you've been here? Oh yeah. Now out in the high desert, it can be single-digit humidity. All right. That's usually what it is before we have any kind of system. I mean, it's bone dry. Here in town, we're usually about right around 20% or below humidity. And if you come from any place that actually has humidity, I mean, that's bone dry in itself. All right. I was just in Minnesota this last weekend, and I'm just getting over the chafe. So, give you an idea. I'm happy to be in dry territory is all I'm getting at. But when you're out here, just saying. So if you see me just over here getting all second knuckle, going for it, scratching the frontal lobe, don't judge me and prevent a bloody nose. Okay. And don't think you can judge me if you see me backing out of that deal looking at that thing for nutritional value. Like, oh look, there's a hair with a root. Does anybody know the first working conditions, the situation that they were faced? One of the problems that they overlooked, even though they covered so many millions of other things. Water and cooling stations. They didn't have water and cooling stations for the workers the first summer out here. It's pretty much they had to manage their own water, bring water down. Now here's a little fun, interesting fact. I'm curious to see if anybody's aware of this. But do you know, anybody here know how much water they recommend you drink per hour in the hot desert sun if you're walking through or if you're out here doing any work? It's 1 liter to 2 liters of water an hour. Okay? Yeah. First off, you're going to get water drunk real quick off of that if you're not, you don't have your proper electrolytes and stuff. But also, who's going to lug that much water for an 8-hour shift? You know, 10-hour shift. So, first summer, guys, in cases, working themselves to death. In other cases, dying later, but you know, dozens of men at a time getting sunstroke or heat exhaustion, dehydration and stuff. So this is where they determine, the executives, that they need water and cooling stations for the workers, right? Makes sense. When they put them out there, everybody's like, yay, problem solved, you know, get back to work. But something happened there, they overlooked again with this. They're sweating out their body salt. So actually dehydration goes up, right? And why is this? Because when your sweat doesn't taste salty anymore, you're hitting the first stages of dehydration. Okay, one of the worst things you should do or could do at that moment is start slugging a bunch of water. It doesn't adhere to your body, it flushes you out and it makes it worse. Okay, you need electrolytes. So when the dehydration starts going up, how do we get rid of this? Sea salt. They got salt tablets out at all the water stations. So what happens here is the sea salt provides the body with the essential minerals. The sodium makes your cells thirsty and opens them up. So now when you drink water, it captures the hydration, holds it in your body. You know how they say salt makes you retain water? That's our body's way, it's nature's way of keeping us alive for these type situations. You can go longer periods in between sips and not be as depleted. So after they put salt out there with the water, no one died from sunstroke, dehydration, or any of those other heat extremes. Yeah. So if you think about it, in a pinch, booger's not that big of a deal. So I'll be honest, I don't think you want to know the other source of sodium's coming from. I save that demonstration for my OnlyFans. It's only damn fans too. But stay hydrated, and more importantly, don't pass out. Okay, you guys, you're my responsibility, and I don't know CPR. So if you go down, best I can do is make out with you. I'm just saying. I'm not worried about you clean shaven fellas and you ladies. I'm talking about you guys with the facial hair. We get Velcro together. That's a different tour. My wife books it. You think I'm getting the numbers in the brochure? And I'm booked till Wednesday, which is hump day. So who wants to get through the week together? But yeah, we got that covered there. Have some water, very important. We're lucking out right now with this road construction the last few weeks. Orange sheep out here, those are other things that give you good luck, you know. But let's get into our itinerary, guys. If you open up that brochure, kind of walk through them, point out a couple things, kind of go over the day here, and then we're going to be getting into it. But first off, has anybody been to the Strat? One, two. No one's been up to the top of the Strat? The stratosphere, the big space needle? So, the bridge where we're going to, that's going to be our first stop, that center picture, is 900 feet up from the riverbed. 900 feet up. The structure of the Strat, not the space needle or the spire on the top, but the structure of the Strat is 909 feet. Okay, the viewing deck is 850 feet. So you're going to be as high as the structure of the stratosphere looking down on top of Hoover-dam. Okay. Now what makes this a better photo than it used to be back in the day from a helicopter ride is the fact that this vantage point, you can be in it and taking a selfie and get all that stuff. The dam, power plants, the river, intake towers, all that stuff. Get a good pic. Now the bridge is an engineering marvel in itself, but we have the 2000s construction versus 1930s construction. So when we're done there, when we drive through, I'm going to give you a little back and forth, the difference between the different methodologies on getting the project done. Also, on the bridge, if you guys are looking for the state line photo where you know the old, I'm in both states at the same time, right? That's where you get it, is on the bridge. I'll explain what to look for when we get down there. But the dam used to be how you got over the Colorado River, right? Up until 2010 when they opened up the bridge. So how we lived without the bridge is beyond me, because it's only 2 lanes going over the dam. 1 lane coming, 1 lane going, 5 miles an hour, right? So when traffic was bottlenecked, woo, forget about it, okay? In some cases, we're talking a 4.5 to 5 hour wait from Boulder City all the way down. Not nice. So when you're on the bridge, just know you're on the highway. There's gonna be trucks, buses, and barreling down the old road. So watch the hats, okay? Because they can create gusts strong enough to take those off, right? If you don't believe me, look over the side when you're walking out. There's a hat graveyard down below. They were cocky too. But the bridge, again, is a fantastic, it's a postcard picture of the dam. And if anybody has a fear of heights, okay, too bad. There ain't a damn thing I can do about it, right? But here's the trick, pro tip, look out, not down. You look out, $1 million view. You look down, starts moving on you, right? And you don't even need mushrooms for that. So, once we get back to the bus from the bridge, we're going to drive down and across the dam. So we're going to go underneath the bridge on our way over the top of the dam to see the Arizona side spillway hole, right? So once we get up around there and we come back, we're going to exit and we're going to get you guys inside to do the interior tour. And this is the power plant tour. So you see a nice little presentation. Then they're going to take you all the way down inside and give you the power plant tour. You're going to see all the generators and the water pump room where the flow of the water goes through. And then when they're all finished inside, they're going to bring you back up to the top. And I don't suggest immediately leaving the building because they have a great exhibit that they just opened a few years ago. I mean, that's been in the works for the last few years. Just opened a few months ago, like 2 months. But they have a great exhibit in there, so you want to check that out. Once you're outside of the visitor center, you're going to be on top of the dam. So now if you want to walk across the dam and check out the Arizona side and get some pictures along the way, great pictures of the bridge from there too. If you want to go to the lake side, take a look at the intake towers, or walk out to the Nevada side spillway hole. They have all that right there. Cafe, gift shop. This is going to be all your free time to bebop around, right? Now once we're done with the dam, we get back on the bus, and we're going to make our way to here, Henderson, Nevada. We just moved in, we just transferred into Henderson. It's the second largest city in the state, right through here. But we're going to have a sit-down major to let you go run wild, terrorize the locals. How's that sound? Sound like a plan? Alright, good stuff. So, we got a couple things here. Answer some questions and stuff, or we can just take a little, 10-15 minute break. I sit down, you guys enjoy the scene, and I'll pick up when we get down over around the west. A little history, or a little... Head nods sound like a break to me.
It was the history.
Alright, well, the reason why I'm asking, because I feel like I'm the only one talking. Like, this has been a big rehearsal or something. But alright, cool. Let's get into a little fun fact. So I'm going to start back a ways. I'm going to hit this timeline. So bear with me, because it's going to be a little, But out here, before there was like anything, there was a really big bang. Is that too far back? Alright, so then we crawled out of the slime. Fast forward a few thousand years there. Here's a good one. Here's a good place to start. Are you guys familiar with the Mormons and the Mormon Church? By way of Salt Lake. So a lot of people don't know this, but Vegas was settled by Mormons. They were the first settlers here, and quite a unique situation. I learned this from my uncle. He's a very active member in the church, and when I started doing the tours, he's like, hey, he goes, do you put in a word for the church on your tour? And I go, what do you mean? He goes, Vegas was settled by Mormons. We're the, and I go, yeah? And he goes, yeah, it's kind of a proud moment for us. And I go, I think it got out of hand. Now, what was going on here is this was a stop on the old Spanish Trail going on out west, and the reason why plenty of water here, there's natural springs, right? And so this is where a lot of natives made their hunting camps along the way, called the Old Mormon Trail. So the head of the church at the time, in the 1840s, Brigham Young, wants to set up different outposts so his people have safe passage coming and going, different places to the state. Vegas being the more famous of these routes, or these posts. And so a group come out. It's like 70 plus, and they set up shop here. And this is in the 1840s, and so not the most welcoming of environments from other people making their way out west of. They end up at a few shootouts, and by the third shootout, they end up tucking back over to home to regroup. And I asked my uncle, I go, where's the Mormon massacre? Like, what year? Where do I find that in the history? Because I'm like, I don't see this. And he goes, what are you talking about? I go, these shootouts. And he goes, I said they were shootouts. He goes, they weren't massacres. He goes, none of the Mormons died. They're excellent marksmen. He said the reason why they moved back so quick is because they ran out of doors to knock on. There's not that many bicycle repair shops. They had to get some inner tubes and some patches. And too soon. It was our climate. They weren't prepared for the extremes, okay? And that says something about our climate, because here you have some guys that can handle about 6, 7 wives each, but they can't handle a little bit of heat. It's a true story. So now they come back in the 1850s. They're better prepared for desert agriculture and ranching, and they set up what we know today as the old Mormon Fort, which is still there on Las Vegas Boulevard. Now, the Vegas Valley was still part of the Arizona Territory, even when Nevada became a state in 1864. But something happens in 1882. The Mormons discovered silver in Good Springs, Nevada, just over those mountains on the west part of the valley, right? They then annexed the state to the shape that we see today to secure those mineral rights. So that silver deposit was a huge reason why Nevada is the shape today, and we have a lot of the railroads coming out here. So by 1905, the railroads are connected. Vegas becomes incorporated. Now it's known as the jewel of the desert, which ends up being called Glitter Gulch because it's all nightlife and stays open 24/7. In 1911, they make gambling illegal because they don't like the negative image. So what do they do to replace gambling? They create what's called the quickie divorce. Why do you think we have so many wedding chapels in Vegas? Because it's easy to get divorced here, so they made it easier to get married. Now they simplified the whole thing, because you can go through these wedding chapels, get married on one side, drive around, return your order on the other. It's a fast town. So in 1931, they re-legalized gambling. 20 years later, they established Boulder City, that we're about ready to enter into, and they start construction down at the dam. All during the Great Depression and Prohibition. So here's where we're going to kick off the tour, guys, in 1931. And if you look over here to your left, you're going to see that little casino, the Railroad Pass. It's the oldest running and operating casino in the state of Nevada, right? Historical landmark. Hotel and casino, police station with a drunk tank, train station with a checkpoint, roadside checkpoint, rows of bungalows in the front for a brothel operation. Right? Prostitution was legal prior to 1941 here in Clark County. Now this is all kept outside of town. We're about ready to enter into Boulder City, but you had to go through the checkpoint to get into Boulder City. Okay, here's the sign on the right. And why is it you had to go through the checkpoint? Because this was a federal reservation. It was owned and operated by the Bureau of Reclamation and the 6 Companies, Inc. Right, the general contractors of this project. They were in total control of everything. Now, Boulder City is quite a unique situation because originally it was supposed to be a work camp. They was going to bulldoze it when the project was done, move on to the next. Well, something had happened. The housing situation was originally built for men, single men, dormitories, military-style barracks. But guys are showing up with the whole families, extended families, right? Grandparents, kids, nieces, nephews. They lost everything, you know. They lost the farm. So they're coming out here for the job. So anybody with a family or significant other, unless it was a father and his teenage sons, they couldn't stay in the barracks. They had to go camp by the river. So they amassed over 4,200 people down there. I think they got up to like 4,800 people at one time. So to get everybody out of what they call Ragtown into Boulder City, they get a hold of Sears Roebucks and they buy the craftsman's homes, these prefabricated homes. Okay, rows and rows of these bungalows all set up. They were given a 2-man crew 12 hours to build a house. 4 guys to establish 1 corner wall, 2 guys, 12 hours, or a house and a half a day if they could, out here in the summertime. So that's how they developed. That's how they developed the housing situation. So they start building parks. They have schools, right? A couple of churches, and a general store, a theater, bowling alley, right? So what do? They're like, hey, the 6 Companies Inc., they own the general store. So they're like, we're not going to pay these guys in cash. We'll give them what's called company script. So they paid them in credit so they can use at the general store. Well, people didn't like this. They're like, hey, we're working for you, but now we got to shop. We got to buy from you? That's not fair. So a lot of times the guys, they would take that company script and they'd use it for, so a lot of times you get the girls that come in, do their shopping here in Boulder City. But that's what started the whole competition, is they're like, hey, we only have 1 store, so they allowed other stores for commerce, and that's another reason why they started developing Boulder City. Now when they were finished with the project, they had themselves a nice little town. They didn't want to bulldoze it. People wanted to keep their home. They want a place to live. They want to raise their kids. So when the project was done, they worked out a deal to lease their homes, right? Lease to buy, right? Get their houses, keep their businesses. But one of the big reasons, one of the big things, they wanted to preserve the history. They knew what they had went through and what they achieved, and with completion of the dam was a historical event. They wanted people to know that. So to preserve the history, they came up with a couple rules on them keeping it. 1, preserve the history and maintain that first and foremost. A few ways of doing this: population cap. Now 15,000 people with a 2% annual growth rate. So currently, there's about 11,000, just maybe shy of 11,000 residents that live here in Boulder. Got about 8,300 that live here year-round. A lot of people that live here are descendants of dam workers. Their families never left. I mean, it's pretty crazy. And this is how crazy the sentiment is here in Boulder City. My friends, their kids, they don't call the dam Hoover-dam. It's called Boulder Dam, or it's just the dam. So they still have that negative vibe, that sentiment with the name Hoover, which is kind of sad, because Hoover, he's not the reason of the stock market crash, but he was a big reason why people got leveraged. They used him as a success story in the stock market back in the day. So he was kind of a poster child of like buying stocks on credit, and then when the rug got pulled, he was the bad guy. But I could do a whole tour on that too, but I don't think you guys are into it. Now, one of the things about Boulder, though, the other is right here is different, okay? Because we're on the highway, but there are no like major like hotel chains, restaurant chains, box stores. There's no Walmarts or Targets, Olive Garden and stuff. It's all like these restaurants have been here for years, and they're all owned. They're these franchises. Out here, just because this is where their commerce is, you'll get the CVS and the 7-Elevens. Now, to our left, this is going to be beautiful when it's completed. This is the Nevada Southern Railway Museum. They're getting a brand new center put in. But the original train tracks go right there, and they come around, they loop around, and they go over. There's some tracks that go back over behind this, on the other side of the mountain over there, which is the other side of the mountain is called Bootleg Canyon, which they had a bootlegging operation. But after Prohibition, Boulder City was a dry town for 9 years, and they kept that bootlegging operation running over there. But a lot of hiking trails and stuff. But the letters on the canyon wall, that stands for Boulder City, okay? Black Canyon, because these are the Black Mountains and the dams in Black Canyon, and also Bootleg Canyon. But the letters on the canyon wall are a very common theme in the old Southwest United States from wagoneering days. Okay, when there's nothing out here, this will let you know, like a billboard, there was a township. There's a place you can get water, goods, services, overnight stay, right? Well, this let everybody know they made it to Boulder City, because again, this was all barren desert, just a dirt road from Vegas. 4 miles paved, another 34 miles dirt road all the way down. Now, as we're starting to come down, we're going to see some Lake Mead just up ahead. And through this part of the valley, we have a collection of some of the most expensive homes in the state of Nevada that are not inside a gated community. Yeah. They got lots for sale up there. Yeah, a lot of celebrity homes too through these parts. But Boulder City, you know, with their exclusivity and their population cap, you know, and this view, that's why you get a lot of these multi-million-dollar properties. But you know, a lot of them are vacation homes. And right through here, I want to make note, from the start of this grass on down, we get a chance, even all the way down to the dam and the desert in between, have a chance of seeing some bighorn sheep. Okay, and that's our state animal. Last few days, we've seen them down at the dam, or the bridge when we're over there. So when we're at the bridge, keep your eyes open for the bighorns, because I can use some luck. I need some lucky Keno numbers. Now there are a couple of them out on that far park over there. There's some people walking. One of the things is, it's amazing. Like where that guy is over there, trying to get a picture of him and stuff. You can't get that close to them if you're out hiking in the desert. They're gone, out of there. But down here on the grass, yeah, it's all. I mean, people get so brazen as to get up like it's a petting zoo, you know. But yeah, you don't want to get hit by one of them bad boys. An impact is could be upwards to a 40-mile-an-hour impact by a small car. So you want to talk about knocking you out of alignment? That'll do it, you know. But Lake Mead up ahead of us, this body of water is only a piece. We're only seeing a small piece of Lake Mead. Okay, it's massive. But here's the thing: if they built the dam where they originally were approved for the project, the body of water in front of us wouldn't be there. It'd be desert. It'd be a canyon with a river running down below, right? So the reason why the dam, the reason why we see the water here is because where the dam is, where they actually built. Now, 72 different locations were surveyed on the Colorado River. It's 1,400 miles long, and it's also 96% snow melt off the Colorado River. But 72 different locations were surveyed. Now, Dr. Elwood Mead had already retired before this project started. He finished the Panama Canal. The general superintendent of this project, Frank Crow, every project he ever was in charge of, Frank Crow, comes in under budget and under schedule, because he built these amazing cableway systems. He's very meticulous and a workhorse. But Frank Crow was perplexed by the Colorado River. He never dealt with anything like it. So he asked Dr. Elwood Mead if he would come out of retirement to help him work with this project. Okay. Dr. Elwood Mead, to a lot of people, to their surprise, again, he wrote the water laws for different countries all over the world. Australia, South Africa, all through the United States, Central and South America. He jumped at the chance to work on this project immediately without even negotiating salary. Right? Why is this? Because it had always been his goal to tame the Colorado River and restore it back to its natural grace. Okay? The Colorado River is the most unpredictable and destructive river in world history. So, the game was on. They determined, with their civil engineers, Black Canyon, where the dam is today, is the best place to build for the first dam on the Colorado River. the height and width that they could build the dam, the foundation, and more importantly, the size of the reservoir. Okay, these three things, amongst others, but would make it possible for us to deal with a Colorado River flood. So they start construction in 1931. They complete the dam 4.5 years later, amazingly, 1935. They start filling up the reservoir, and in 1936, two things happen. Dr. Elwood Mead passes away, so they dedicate the body of water in his life's work to the dedication of the reservoir. Sorry, tripping on my words there. The other thing that happens in 1936 is there's enough water in Lake Mead to run the hydroelectric. And the very first day of power generation, September 11th, 1936. Right? Now, it's not until 1941, 6.5 years from the start of filling it up, did they achieve 10 trillion gallons filling up the reservoir all the way to capacity. Right? Now, elevation-wise, that's 1,229 feet. Gallon-wise, you could say it's 10 trillion gallons, or you could say 378 trillion liters of water. 550 miles of shoreline, or 888 kilometers of shoreline. But that's what it is at capacity, filled up. Now, you guys, you saw that white line out there on the mountain, on the side, the white line? You're going to see it in the canyon up over here. That's the high water mark in 1983. That's flooding waters. Okay, where they'd hold that would be about maybe 60 feet below that white line is where they'd hold the reservoir. But the reason why the rock is white is because when the water was up, it leached the minerals, extracted the minerals, and that's calcium that you're seeing there. Okay, you good? All right. Now, Lake Mead is a national recreation area. It's also Las Vegas's drinking water. So, you know, that means yeah, not good. Here's a yeah, you know, people just think, oh, because people pee in it. No. I wish that was all we had to worry about, you know. The big one used to be, that's where Pamela and Tommy Lee filmed their video. But I think that one gets pushed out of the way with the world title, Lake Mead, being the #1 vacation spot in the entire world. You're most likely to find a dead body while you're on vacation. And that's our drinking water. I know the first impulse is like, oh man, I'm just going to drink bottled water on the rest of this trip. No. Now you know why the margaritas in Vegas have such a kick, because there's a damn foot in it. You're going to look at your drink later on, you're like, man, I think Trez is right. I don't know if that's an orange peel or a toenail. Here's how you know it's a toenail. Your drink tastes like it's got the gout. Take a look at this, though. What got Dr. Elwood Mead and his engineers excited is this volcanic rock off to our right. It's called andesite, second strongest rock recognized today. It's lava flow that hits the water. Now, this was all ocean millions of years ago. But when the lava hits the water, the hot and cold, the two extremes, the steam blasts out, it condenses down, makes it extremely strong with a very high iron content, very dense. And here we have a beautiful view. And if you guys want for a better picture, we'd have Brendo get closer to the railing. I call that one the R. Kelly. It's a bump and grind with a little bit of pee. Oh yeah, just wait until we get into the ditties later on. But andesite, second strongest rock out, recognized, out here in Black Canyon. And over here on our left, the natural sedentary rock we see in front of us, this is called breccia. And it's the third strongest rock recognized today. That's the general makeup of Black Canyon. And here, when they excavated, we have a great display of this volcanic rock right there. And it was a huge factor. It's a big to-do, Black Canyon, when it comes to the dam, you know. they pulled a switcheroo. If you look at it, you know, a lot of people think that they just changed locations. In Boulder, where they got the project approved, it was 376 feet across from the canyon from one side to the next. We're down here, there's only 77 feet across. So now they can shape the canyon walls their specific needs down here instead of make this monstrosity over there. They're 3 times the size. The other thing is, it was 28 river miles north. It's a smaller reservoir. That don't make any sense. And the foundation, they had the breccia, but they didn't have the andesite on top. They had sandstone. You already get seepage through here. You're going to get exfoliation. You're going to get water erosion with the sandstone, right? So why'd they even entertain Boulder? Because it's 3 times the size. They can get 3 times the amount of money, and that'd give them enough of a chance of getting the project done on time. Have to remember, these guys were facing penalties for being over. The general superintendent, Frank Crow, $35,000 a day for being over, right? For being over projection, right? He gets $350,000 for completing the project on time. He gets a bonus. Guys, in today's money, that's $6.5 million. Yeah. Oh, made sure everything got done on time. Right? That's why they called him Hurry Up Crow. Because whatever they asked him, when he'd answer, he would reply with hurry up. Tell you what, $6.5 million, you can call me whatever the hell you want. I give a damn. So in 1928, Congress approves the Hoover-dam project to the tune of $175 million, which is the same price as the Dolby Live Theater at Park MGM. Now, guys, we're going to have a guard step on board, take a little look around, okay? No one use that back office because they're going to be open. See if you get all freaked out when they bring the dog on board.
I'm coming from
Yeah, when they have the when they bring the canine on board, you know, sometimes I don't have a chance to tell everybody it's a bomb dog, not a drug dog, you know, because people get all spooked, you know. It used to be a drug dog because every time it gets around me, it sits. But so we're just around the bend. Luckily for us that they give us, we're able to get our tickets here instead of down in the building, so we eliminate that. But just around the corner is the bridge, the bypass bridge. Now, it was dedicated to 2 gentlemen who unfortunately passed away in 2004 untimely. And the significance of that in the bridge is that's when they physically started building the bridge in 2004. On the Nevada side, it's Michael Callahan, who was a Korean War veteran and a governor from 71 to 79. And on the Arizona side, it was dedicated to Pat Tillman, the NFL star with the Cardinals, where after 9/11 he leaves to serve in Afghanistan. He passed away in 2004. This is just for a photo opportunity. This isn't mandatory by any means, okay? So if this is going to be too much for you, by all means, hang out on the bus. They have some place for some pictures. You want to walk around, stretch your legs, that kind of thing. Don't overexert yourself is all I'm saying, right? Middle, that's that connecting piece right there. All right, great photo. I don't suggest standing on it because you're in the middle of the bridge and it could just, you never know. All right, that's my luck. All right, stay off of it. Now, here's the thing. If you see the apex first, that means you walk past state line. And it's very easy to walk past state line because a lot of times people are standing over it, huddling, getting a picture, okay? So if you're walking out towards the center of the bridge and there's people kind of huddled, look down towards their feet, they're probably standing right by or above the state line. But if you see the apex, it says you're at the center, you passed it by 10 paces. So just double back, all right? I told you about the hats, the wind, right, when you're up there. And I told you about the bounce, right? So, gravity base arch compression bridge. It's the highway. There's going to be a little shake, a little shimmy, a little bounce. Okay, you might feel it in the guardrail. It's designed to do that. So don't freak out. But if it makes noises, run. Get the hell out of there. My like George Costanza in a house fire. Now, restrooms. They have restrooms over there on the left if anybody needs the facility. It is an outhouse. It's not the worst thing in the world. There's actually bars in Vegas that are way worse than that. And that's kind of crazy because that's a giant hole in the ground with an aluminum seat and one hell of a draft, right? And let me tell you, I recently had a lady, she goes, "What do you mean by draft?" And I go, "Well," I called it an air bidet. And she comes back, she goes, "That ain't no bidet, that's an air enema, honey." So, if, here's